James Leiter here. Wanted to do a little quick rig rundown. Kind of got the idea from Hemibass, who I've collabed with a couple times. Just an amazing bass channel. I watched his rig rundown and I was like, you know what? There's enough people I think that would be interested to see what is going on in here. So this is where I make all of the music. It's a corner of a room right now. If you've been watching this channel for a while, you'll remember that I had kind of an elaborate setup before in one of my old houses with mirrors and all kinds of stuff. But I think we'll go guitars, and we'll go amp, and we'll go pedals, and you can just kind of see what James Leiter's working with here. This is cool. My James Leiter's book of mixes and masters right there from 2021, but everything's in it, so anything that I'm doing, usually I'm putting notes or something into that book. But yeah, we'll skip the computer stuff here, go right to the guitars. This is a 2010 Gibson ES-345. This was the first really great guitar that I ever purchased. I got it in 2011 and played a lot of shows with this guitar. And I mean, these are the guitars that are going to be in most of the videos if you've been watching the channel for the last few years, especially since 2021. I mean, even when some of those videos are made without showing these guitars, usually there's a left channel or a right channel rhythm track on one of these three electrics on the left. So, but yeah, back to the 345. It has a stereo and a mono out, but very rarely do I use the stereo out unless, you know, I'm recording to 2 amps or going to 2 amps. I have done that before on the Necromancer video. That first solo in that video, and that one also is with Hemibass, but that first solo I was using both orange amps there. There is some effect running to the small orange. I don't remember what was going on there, but original pickups, nothing's really been changed on this guitar except for the stock tone knob and volume knobs are from an old ES-345 Epiphone that I had. Just from all those times being on stage and having a ring on, you'd go to switch pickups and roll a tone knob or a volume knob down, and the ring actually clipped off some of those old witch hat knobs. They had those kind of plastic rings around the top, and then I started cutting my fingers on them and bleeding all over the guitar, so swapped them with some softer knobs. And then of course there's a Veritone switch right there. This guitar is amazing because it can emulate pretty much any guitar. It can emulate that Tele sometimes better than the Telecaster can, but that Veritone switch I think is a real key factor in this guitar and why it's so great. In the Fender Telecaster, this, I think that's a 62 reissue, I think it is, but this part down here was a gift to me, so I didn't actually buy it, but this is apparently the original bridge piece from an old 62. I don't know though. I've never actually been able to get a year on it. I have not taken it apart to look underneath the neck. The pickguard's off of it right now. I'm actually going to do a mod on it in the next few months, I would say. But this guitar appears, I mean, it's in the Port Town video, it's in the Lemon Song video, it's in a few videos on the channel, and it just sounds and records extremely well. This is a Strandberg Boden Standard 6, and this guitar I was just recording with a buddy up in Canada, and flew over with it and took it with me on the flight. And I mean, it's just a fantastic guitar. It's super light, has a grooved neck. Late 2021, I was having some left hand strain and some pain, and this guitar with its grooved frets and kind of a therapeutic neck really helped my hand. So kind of saved my guitar playing, I would say. And they're very light and they sound huge. I mean, there's so many things so many sounds that this guitar can emulate, and kind of inspires you to do new things because of this. It's got a really nice bar on it. Strandberg's all proprietary stuff, and I mean, it is just a beautiful guitar. I love the Strandberg company. I'm looking to get another one eventually, but just haven't done it yet. But yeah, I really do love that guitar, and that one has been in quite a few of the songs in videos on the channel lately. This one you may have seen. It's in the Natural Science video. It's in that Zelda Castle video or whatever that Zelda video was I just did. It's a 1976 Howard Roberts custom. You can see right there the plate, if we can get, there we go, Howard Roberts. Howard Roberts is the famed session musician. He was playing the Batman theme. He's known for a lot more than just that, but everybody's heard that, so that's something that he's very well known for. But this, anytime I need acoustic, I will play this, and I've plugged it in a few times. It sounds really good. It's very soft. It has one pickup on it, so it's a very soft kind of a jazz guitar when it's plugged in. So not a whole lot of need just yet to plug it in. But I am working on a Yes song right now, so some of the Steve Howe stuff has been played on the Roberts, as well on this guitar, the Strandberg, because it's so light, and then there's some rhythms on the Gibson, because when you switch that baritone switch to position 4, you start getting that kind of squawky sound that Steve Howe has on the Yes album. So those are the main 4 guitars that you'll see on the channel. Jump over to amps now. I've been using the same amp for like, man, it's got to be 10 years or so. It's an orange Rockerverb. It's 100 watt, and I have not done anything to it. It's gotten some new tubes put in, maybe twice. I think I almost blew it up once, started smoking at an old band practice. I've played Marshalls, Trainors, Vox AC30s, AC15s. I kind of want a high watt at some point, but Orange is an amazing brand, in my opinion. And the way I play, I think, comes out through Orange. There's a lot of like a mid-range kind of a quality to it, which I really like, which I think works extremely well with the 345, because this was the main guitar for about a decade running through that amp, so always loved it. And then it's a 2x12 orange British cab there. Not much, honestly, for the amps. I mean, this is basically the one that I use. I have used this little secondary orange. It was in the Necromancer, and it was in something else too. But usually if I'm going to run like a very heavy overdrive pedal, I'll run it through the smaller amp on a clean setting and then jack the overdrive pedal up rather than run it through the orange. I've blown it up before, so I just don't feel like blowing it up again. Love pedals, so we'll jump over to the pedals really quick. This pedal is something that I will never get rid of, and I'm looking actually to get a second one. This is a Boss Chorus Ensemble, the CE20. So this is what I bought because I wanted to get all the Alex Lifeson tones and those really spacey kind of chorus sounds that he was using. He was using the old CE1, and that's actually replicated on here, so is the Dimension D. And chorus effect is just a great effect, I think. Fills up a lot of space, and I use it a lot. The compression sustainer, used in a lot of the solos on the channel, and then over here, just an Ernie Ball VP Jr. The Crybaby wah pedal I've used for a few years. I used Voxes for a bit. I think I've gone through about 4 of those Vox pedals and probably 4 or 5 Crybabies. This was the chain for the last thing I was recording, which I'm not done with yet. Just don't really like putting it all away in between recording sessions, so it's the Crybaby going into the Electro Harmonix Big Muff, little version of it. Like it's not a, yeah, it is a nano Big Muff. Thing sounds pretty cool. And then this is Paul Gilbert's pedal, which is pretty cool. JHS's PG-14 with his shoe on it, which I always think is really cool. I love Paul Gilbert. Don't play like him, and don't play a lot of stuff like him, I guess, or I listen to him a lot though, and I love his overdrives. And when you connect this to a clean amp and you run this chain, you get Steve Howe's really great fuzz sound from the 60s with the Big Muff, and then you can get a lot more sustain. Again, I don't have the push very high on it. I do have the drive up, and the volume isn't quite at half, so these two combine really well together, and with the Crybaby it sounds massive, so that's really cool. And this bass back here is just a is it the Infinity series or something? Yeah, so it's an Infinity series bass. It doesn't get a whole lot of play. I think I'm gonna eventually offload it here, but it's been on a few tracks. I think it was on the Lufia track, but I do have a Gibson 72 OB4 or whatever it is. All the pedals are run. I don't know if you can see back there. There is a, I don't think you're going to be able to see it, but there's a one-spot True Tone back behind here that's that little blue light is coming from. So that's what runs all the pedals. Got a Peanuts book because Schultz is awesome. And anytime I need drums that I do myself, then I use the Arturia MiniLab. And the whole Metroid Rhyme album was done on there. All the drums for everything on the channel is usually a sampled drum kit from a buddy. We sampled his drums and then I just assign it like everybody else does. I mean, it's simple drum pad stuff. But yeah, I really like the Arturia products. I think they're a lot of fun to use and stand by them. So that's pretty much the rig that you see basically on a daily basis. If I'm going to record something quick, it's going to be on one of these 4 guitars for the most part, mainly the 345 and the Strandberg, using the D'Addario strings. I go 9 to 42 on the Gibson, 9 to 42 on the Strandberg, and then 10s through 40. I don't know what the heck it is. 10s are, it's a little heavier string on the Telecaster. And then for picks, I've been using these Snarling Dogs, the Brain 88s, for a very long time. One really cool thing I saw Yes recently and met Simon, Steve Howe's guitar tech. Asked him a few questions about what guitars were going to be out that night. I asked if the 345 was there, because I bought this 345 in Walnut because I love Steve Howe so much. And he's like, yeah, it's going to be here, man, it's going to be here. And it was not there. The ES Artist was there, and Steve's American traveling 175, which is the same body shape of this Howard Roberts, the 175 shape. And the guitar tech, Simon, was like, oh yeah, we got it now. Wait a minute, which one was that again? And I said the 345. And he was like, oh no, that one's not here. The stereo one, we just don't have any songs in stereo that we're running, so he's like, sorry about that, man, and here, you want one of these? And he handed me that pick, and gladly took one of Steve Howe's guitar picks. It was from right behind his rig while they were getting the show all set up. So that was a really cool moment, and I've actually used this pick on this guitar in a future Yes recording that's coming up pretty soon on both of these guitars, and this one as well. So whenever I change strings now, the first pick I use to test the strings out is the Steve Howe pick, which is really cool. It just kind of makes me feel like there's a bit of a connection there. So I don't normally do any videos like this, but I just wanted people that follow this channel to see what typically is being used in the James Leiter videos. Also, one thing that's been in every single setup I've had is this H.G. Wells book. My Steinberg, or whatever this, Steinberg UR22 has been sitting on an H.G. Wells book for like 10 years or something like that. So shout out to H.G. Wells, First Man in the Moon, Time Machine, War of the Worlds, a whole bunch of stuff like that. Anyways, I got some new stuff coming out. Hope you enjoy this one.